My brother.
How you doing, man?
What's up, brother?
Man.
All right, man. First of all, man, we in Nepal.
Right.
We right down the street from St. Paul Central. You know, the colors was red and black, you know, on the St. Paul side of things. You know, I'm talking to my brother. What's happening, brother? Introduce yourself for those who don't know.
Juriad Hughes, St. Paul, Minnesota.
Okay, and man, we standing right in front of your former arrest, correct?
That's correct. I was here since I was in 7th grade.
7th grade?
Yep. Left here probably about 01.
01? Okay, man. Well, what we're gonna do right now, we're gonna take a journey. You already know what time it is, and the people know what time it is. We're talking about the McRae All-Stars, but we're also talking about the St. Paul side of things too, because a lot of people don't know, man, that McRae thing connected coast, like it connected that south side to the north side and St. Paul.
Definitely.
So, man, come on, man, let's take a little walk, man. You know, this was like the journey, man. Explain this journey, man, because you know you got a deep story.
Many times I walked this walk, going over here, I was looking off my couch. I wake up in the morning, eat breakfast, and immediately I'll be in the window, and all I'll be looking at is that basketball court over there, and I'll look at that school and find out where I was going to go, what I was going to do, and what it was going to look like. So I was already living my dream at a young age.
Right.
This is where it all started from, right here.
So back then, like, you know, you got the courts right now. You know, it kind of got plush a little bit. You know, this isn't the old school Paul.
Oh, no,
like,
we came over here, it was straight rock. You was going in cracks, crevices. You better watch your stickers, you might break something.
Right.
You know, you had glass, you had all kind of debris on the court. Now they're gonna do a little cosmetic job, keep it up, but back in the day, we didn't have it like this.
You didn't have it like this.
There's all kind of facilities, there's brand new gyms that are empty these days because kids ain't got the love for the game no more.
Right,
but you'll find them at the corner store.
Okay.
You'll find them at on somebody's porch.
Well, let me ask you something. So, like, you know, if we was talking like Minneapolis talk, right? So McRae was the neighborhood outdoor court, you know, on the south side in that section, right?
Right.
Like, what was the outdoor court that really got it popping back then in St. Paul?
We had a couple. You know, we had controlled data. You know, we had outside of People's Park, but legendarily for years, Dunning Park has been here for many, many, many years. I was playing T-ball at 8 years old at Dunning Park. So Dunning Park was where it all started from. Dunning was probably #1 as far as outdoor parks. There's a couple that might have ran close, but I'm gonna vote Dunning, obviously, because it's right by my home. This is my backyard.
This is
nobody come in here and get no games.
Okay.
I don't care what age you was. I don't care where you was from. That court was mine, and everybody knew, and they would see me come walk over there, and they'd see me come walk back home, but that court is where it all started from.
Go ahead, man. Let's take this shot. Let's take this first shot, brother. When did it really pop off where you really took this seriously?
I say when I took it seriously, probably about 10.
Now let's fast forward a little bit. So we already know, you know, on this side of things, it was the Oxford and the King Center, right?
Right.
Okay. Talk about when did everything really come to that state of like, okay, we got this on lock over here in St. Paul, the Oxford and the King Center. What age was this? What grade?
Since I was born.
Since you was born?
Since I walked.
This is in the blood.
This has been here.
Yeah, this has been here.
This is the pioneer. This area right here. Either when you went to Oxford, you looked up at the hill. So when you was a kid running around the playground playing football, you looked up the hill every time like, I'm gonna be up there. My time is gonna come. So you just went back and forth.
Okay.
You watched the veterans, you watched the older, the upperclassmen play when you was at Oxford. Then you came up here because you was trying to come here next because this was where you had to go. St. Paul, you're going to Central. Right. Oxford, you're going to Central.
Okay.
That's how it went.
Okay.
This is tradition.
Yeah, that's what it is. Now, we moved to like, let me see, what is this, 6th grade, 7th grade? When did there become a connection with this team called the McRae All-Stars, and how did that happen?
I don't even know. A friend of mine, Rory Birch, he had a friend, and we were always, you know, me and him was like best friends. We played ball every day, and you know, we were at Oxford, and then all of a sudden he said, "Man, you know, there's an all-star game, all-star team, and they're going to Vegas and in Denver." And I was like, "Oh, for real?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "Who's saying?" He said, "Ralph Crowder." I said, "Oh, McRae." He said, "Yeah."
And this was 7th grade, right?
8th grade is when we went to McRae.
Okay, 8th grade.
We're 8th graders.
Okay, who was you playing with prior to that then?
It was this Goodlow.
Goodlow?
Obviously, he coached the Goodlow coach. He had a program that was so solid. He was a father figure.
Okay.
Some guys didn't have no money to eat. Some cats didn't have no tennis shoes. Some of the kids didn't have no money to registration. He took care of everybody.
Okay, we back. Now, man, let me ask you a question. So back then, Rory called you, you heard about this squad that was going to Denver and Vegas. And then, so that was Denver and Vegas, not California, wasn't
One
that
trip,
Yeah.
yep.
Prior to that, did you know about McRae, or I mean, what was that like on this side of things for you at that time?
I did, but I didn't. Back then, it was St. Paul, Minneapolis. We were Jimmy Lee, we were Oxford back then, but I didn't know too much about McRae. No, I didn't, not at all.
Okay, because let's just be hey, on the St. Paul things, there was a lot of pride at Oxford and the King Center. You know what I'm saying?
If you put like this, if you didn't come to play, you didn't play. And you didn't get picked. And if you lost, just go home, because it was like 15 games down.
Right. It was like go home or get better.
One of the two.
Right.
One of the two.
So
and you got challenged.
Right.
You had to compete.
So talking about competing then, so back then, did you hear, were teams back then actually traveling out of states playing in AAU games and things of that nature?
No. No. There wasn't no travel, and there wasn't no out of state. The funding wasn't there. It wasn't even set up as a program or a league back then.
Right.
Wasn't no summer league, AAU. We didn't have that opportunity where you can get noticed by other schools and coaches and stuff like that. You was just here, and that was it. It was very local.
Very local.
No matter how much you won, how many games you won, it wasn't set up that way back then.
Okay, so this would have been something new, definitely an opportunity to hoop, but also to travel out of state.
Experience, camaraderie, build brotherhood, build relationships.
Right.
Adventure, you know what I mean? Experience other things in life, grow up that way.
Okay.
Be away from home.
Right.
That experience is something that you got to deal with.
Now let's talk some real talk. So we talked about this, chopped this up on the phone a little bit. I noticed, because we was on the same age group in the same squad that won them tournaments, right?
We didn't lose.
We didn't lose. I think we might have, did we get second place in Vegas or did we win Vegas?
I remember winning.
Okay.
I remember holding up this.
Yeah, we can stay with that.
We're gonna stay with that.
We're gonna stay with that.
We're gonna find out.
Yeah, we're gonna stay with that. We got the records, it's in the documentation.
We got the archive.
Right. We're gonna pull it back up.
Find it if you can, but I'm gonna go with one.
Yeah, we wasn't losing, put it that way. Yeah, we wasn't losing.
I'm the top 2 and I'm not number 2.
That's right. So I told you when we chopped this up on the phone, I was like, Juriad, back when we were shorties, right? And I noticed something different from your game before the trip and then after the trip. And you know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
It was like your game went to a whole nother level,
right.
like after that. And you acknowledged that.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So I think and this is just an outside observation. That trip helped motivate you to take your game to a whole nother level because you was exposed to some competition out of state, and naturally it should light a fire in some people when they come back home, correct?
Once again, by being local, by only knowing basically St. Paul through 8th grade, we only played around here.
Right.
And then we traveled to Mounds View, Cottage Grove, Park Center tournaments, but we always would come back here. So by going out and seeing other talent, and seeing college coaches and just getting the feel of big time ball, that made me come back with a whole different perspective.
All right,
I wanted to be out there.
Let's get on that free throw line real quick, brother. See what's up, man.
Out there made me, when I come back, I wanted to be the best, because out there I didn't feel I got the opportunities that I should have. I seen talent in front of me, people in front of me that was getting playing time over me. When I get back,
I'm doing my thing.
I'll be Mr. Basketball in my class.
Right. I'm already knowing.
You guys out there have fun, because I had the last laugh.
I'm already knowing.
So that was motivation.
We with Juriad Hughes right now. We on the St. Paul side of things. Tell me about what you was doing from over here across the street, right? What was your program like after coming back from that trip? Because your game just went to a whole nother place, brother.
I would, when other guys and other kids in the neighborhood would be hanging out, going to house parties and, just sitting around or playing video games, I'm over here.
You over here?
I'm here at midnight. I'm putting up 500 jump shots a day in the dark.
At Dunning Court.
I couldn't even see the rim. All I could do was hit the net.
And it wasn't even a plush rim like this.
Oh no. It wasn't even like this. But at the end of the day, I couldn't even see the basket.
Right.
I was listening for the net.
Oh.
So I was just shooting. That's how I got my shot to be where it was at.
Right.
I was shooting in the dark.
Right.
And I go to the stadium over here, the football stadium. I run the stadium steps.
You ran the stadium steps.
Used to run the steps.
By yourself?
By myself. No motivation. I couldn't sleep at night thinking about the season, thinking about the game we lost, or state tournament coming up, or Twin City game coming up. So I'm over here getting ready.
So let me ask you this: was that what was this seasonal? Was this only in the warm climate, or was there any kind of?
Oh, wintertime. I was in winter boots, running through the snow.
Oh,
I was out running in the snow. Sometimes I come over here. I would shovel up the basketball hoop. Just leave this near where you shoot at.
Right.
Just with a shovel.
Because do you feel like some people, man, like the people that really achieve these next level accomplishments, you know what I'm saying, and you and others have done that. I mean, it just doesn't happen like that.
No, it doesn't.
Right? You got to put in that work.
You can't teach it. You can't teach that hunger. You can't teach that fire. You can't teach someone to have love and all of that. You're gonna have to be able to have that.
When I saw you, I'm gonna tell you, when I saw you in 11th grade, give people the business that was in the grade up, because we was like doing right. You know what I'm saying? I was like, yo,
in the state.
I was like, man, yo, I was proud of you and Dave and anybody who actually was on that level or shining back then. Big shout out to my man Rory and Dave, Christian Hayes.
Oh, yeah. Those are my guys growing up.
Kenny Kelly.
Yep.
Kenny Kelly.
We were the ballers over here. We were the ones that brought the game. We were the known to come with it. We were respected. We were respected in Minnesota. In St. Paul.
Because on the low, our age group, the team that really went out and did its thing was primarily cats from St. Paul. Primarily.
When I was told, because I didn't go anymore after that, I don't know what it was. I don't know what happened. But at the end of the day, I know Dave had went, Rory had went, so St. Paul started getting those trips too.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that helped you guys win some games.
Yeah.
We had talent.
Yeah. Now, those
were the cream of the crop back then, right?
All right. We breathing right now. Let's breathe a little bit more, man. Take that free throw, brother. Or you could take that three, whatever, man. This is breaking news. Now, we chopped it up many times about this stuff, man. We get to your senior year. You know what I'm saying? You done took your game to a whole nother level. You know what I'm saying? You on a winning squad. You represented St. Paul lovely at the time. That tradition of St. Paul Central was definitely on a top level. Now you a senior. And we have this Mr. Basketball thing. Now, I don't know, and this is gonna be a first. This is gonna be a first. My man, Juriad, when you attended, now Derek had won Mr. Basketball in '88.
Yes.
Derek played for McRae. '89 comes up. You splashing threes, y'all winning, y'all doing it. You carrying the torch. Mr. Basketball was named, and you were the runner-up.
That's correct.
I'm gonna ask you a question, and I'm gonna go deeper into this story. But when the podium announcement came, and it was like Juriad Hughes, runner-up of Mr. Basketball in 1989, what did you feel like, brother?
Well, that changed my whole appetite. I was enjoying a steak dinner, and that steak went cold.
What happened after that?
I went numb. I left the table and went to the bathroom. When I went to the bathroom, I bumped into the award winner, Mr. Basketball, Tom Conroy. At that time, he stopped me and he told me, he said, Juriad, you deserve this. This is really your award, and I want to give it to you. I said, they won't give it to me. formally, but you won it, and that was that. And since that day, and even before that, we were real good friends, and we still are.
Okay. And who is they when you say
The
that?
state, I don't know. You give him a name, I don't know who he is.
The Mr. Basketball
the league,
Committee.
Association.
Yeah, the Mr. Basketball Committee that recently, I think this was this year or late last year, got caught up in a lot of controversy that had some racist comments around something about the dude who was running it and this and that, right?
Right, correctly.
Okay. And let's pause, man, and take this little free throw, brother.
Yeah, there, boy.
Yeah, this is important. This is important right here. This is my man Juriad Hughes. So, brother, so here we go, 1989. Mr. Basketball. And at that time, it was a serious, I don't know if Mr. Basketball is as serious now as it was then. But at that time, man, it was a real serious thing to be black.
Yeah.
And to receive this Mr. Basketball award was political in itself. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So,
that's a good way of putting it.
Now let's go ahead and break this all the way wide open because it needs to be broken open because we got to tell the truth.
We have to. It needs to be heard.
Tom Conroy was a hooper. I ain't going to take nothing away from Tom.
All respect.
He was a hooper. But Tom flunked 8th grade. Now, people knew that. Juriad Hughes didn't flunk 8th grade. Do you think that if there was a young black male, high school senior at that time, that flunked 8th grade, they would still be able to walk out when Mr. Basketball was read on the podium? And let's say if Juriad Hughes flunked 8th grade and Tom Conroy wasn't even in the picture. If Juriad Hughes flunked 8th grade and Mr. Basketball was there, would Juriad Hughes would have won that, or any other black young senior athlete at the time?
Definitely lied.
Yeah.
And they would have made him so humiliated, he probably would have stopped playing basketball because they'd have put it on USA Today.
Right.
It'd been breaking news.
It would have been a controversy, correct?
Something has happened.
Right.
Stop the paper. It'd have been the front page of Star Trib. It'd have been in the front page of Pioneer Press, and USA Today would have got that story that this great Mr. Basketball cannot receive the award because we won't go back into his history and see that he flunked 8th grade.
And the word is academically ineligible, correct?
Academically ineligible.
If we was going to be correct.
Be correct.
He was academically ineligible, but he was still...
Because he was 19 and I was 18.
Right. So technically he was a whole grade above you.
College.
He had a whole year head start.
He's supposed to have been in UMD.
Right.
Michigan State.
Right.
University of Arkansas, wherever.
Right.
I know he had Division I offers.
Right. But here goes Juriad Hughes, a black boy, a black male from the streets of St. Paul.
From the projects.
From Selby.
McDonough.
Yeah, right down the street when there was just tossing out crack vials, in 89. This was off the charts at that time.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You living in the elements, dealing with the struggle.
Every day.
And you working out the way that you said, representing the people, the neighborhood, and striving to have excellence. And Juriad Hughes is denied his right to take his place in basketball history, even though you already did, but in terms of that recognition at the time, which was a major, major disrespect to you and this community, brother.
There's no question. The program at St. Paul Central should have been Mr. Basketball. Myself, of course, I'm going to say this, but it's there. It's just that point right there is what I want to make. Never once again take anything from Tom at all.
Tom was a hooper.
On the court,
he was a hooper.
94, he was a hooper. But when it comes down, you have to be academically eligible.
Right.
Student athlete.
Right.
You can't have the athlete without the student.
Right. And this is what it is. And we just want to clearly say this in history, in the history books right now. And we're going to have an official ceremony for this because it needs to happen. But Juriad Hughes, to the viewing audience, St. Paul, Minneapolis, worldwide. This brother right here is 1989 Mr. Basketball. This brother right here played for the McRae All-Stars. This brother right here went on to do great things after high school, even being slighted like he was. And this brother right here is still standing in front of you right here in the hood right now. Brother, I mean, how does it feel, man, to just go through all that and still be standing? Because that's a major slight, brother.
I mean, you know, a lot of people don't understand the struggle, but it's real. And I'm not asking for no one's pat on the back, no sorry cars, anything like that. But
no, but the truth needs to be spoken, though.
When I went through,
yeah,
to get where I'm at,
yeah, that was real.
it's a story,
right?
It's a testimony,
right?
And it was real,
right?
And a lot of people I know wouldn't have made it,
right?
And they didn't make it,
right?
For what they were going through,
right? Because a lot of us was, myself included, and everybody from those McRae teams and in our broader communities at that era, we lived through a gang of shit.
Yes,
families were breaking up.
Yes.
We had an invasion of crack all in our communities.
Yes.
We saw disconnection of not only families, but we saw disconnection of neighborhoods, disconnection of people.
Government, slaughtery.
Yeah, exactly. But we had this basketball though, and we was trying to find some peace in some of that.
This was my tranquility. This was my peace. This is where I found myself. This is what got me out. I would cry in bed at night. I would be in my room holding the ball, and I would sleep with it. And this was gonna get my vehicle. This is my vehicle out of here.
Man, I just want to say this, man. I'm so glad that we did this interview because
me as well.
To me, you're the St. Paul side of the balance of that era.
I appreciate you saying that.
There's no accident that Derek won Mr. Basketball in '88, and you won Mr. Basketball in '89. And everybody who knows the history knows that you really won that.
The ones that was here and witnessed that my whole run, they know.
They know. We all know. But we got to tell the truth.
We have to.
You know what I'm saying? And we got to honor those adults who actually sacrificed for us when we was kids.
Much respect.
That put us in those positions to have more motivation in whatever we do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No question.
So my brother, is there anything else that you want to, tell people, man, as we take this last shot and walk back to the crib?
You only get one shot in life, but you never can give up. There's going to be obstacles, there's going to be barriers, there's going to be things holding you back. People tell you can't do it. But you got to have heart, you got to have love, and you got to have a dream.
My man Juriad Hughes.
Ralph Carter X.
Yeah, we on the St. Paul side of things.
South side.
Yeah, and it all connects. It connects dots. South side, north side, and St. Paul. And all of us went across the country winning.
Winning.
All right.
We put Minnesota on the map.
That's right.
They didn't know who Minnesota was. They thought it was a bunch of Eskimos and Europeans.
Right.
We come down there doing everything we wanted to do, up and down the court, and winning and having fun and smiling. They didn't know what that looked like.
Right. Before Nike took over or Adidas took over the whole AAU circuit.
It was Chuck Taylor back then.
Right. We had Adidas top 10s.
Right. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
The first one.
Yeah.
The Forums.
Yeah. So man, this is the crib. This is the old crib, brother. Man, you know what? That was an important history lesson. You feel me?
Yes.
And I'm gonna make this prediction on camera right now. Your son's getting ready to get it all back.
I'm working hard.
Yeah.
And I look at him and I'm just showing him and talking to him more and more about avoiding the mistakes I made and decisions I made and not letting differences and things and distractions stay one focus. Stay on that path where you're going. And it's my job to position them for that, and that's what I'm doing.
Please shout out Eric Goodlow on the St. Paul side of things. Yeah, because Goodlow's been keeping up with these McRae stories.
Oh yeah. He knows about it.